Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Amazing Vito show. I'm talking to a performer that I worked with several times. Um, he is known as FenyxFyre, but I know him as Christopher Campbell, and he is a world-renowned uh, performer. Some of the stuff he does, I want to tell you right off the bat, it's for real. I know a lot of people are like, you do stand up, but we did shows together, and they were we would had vaudeville and stand up, and then Christopher would come out and freak people out. He is also several time world record holder, and he'll explain why, like what the records are. So without further ado, Christopher, thank you so much for your time, man. It means a lot.
How you doing, Vito? It's great to see you again. It's last time we worked together, we were doing that vaudeville show and a great variety show. Lots of fun. It was a dinner theater, which we definitely, after all the world gets back to normal, we definitely have to put on another dinner theater for sure because that was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Do you remember that there was a strip joint below us,
Yeah.
and you could hear the music, and it was driving me up.
Bonkers.
Oh man, I was losing it. And the sound system was just Christopher doesn't really need a sound system. I do, and the sound system was like
Maxed.
it couldn't work. And then remember the idiot that was the guy that I was. He wanted to remember he was trying to have a dick measuring contest with you.
Yes.
This genius I had, who was trying to be funny. Christopher can eat glass, real glass. Okay. So the moron that I was with, which was incredibly embarrassing for me, because I was the guy in the middle where Christopher was saying, "Hey, what's with your buddy?" And I was like, "Hey man, I'm trying, I'm trying to come up with every excuse in the book, but as a performer, if I'm doing a bit, if I do my uh, dog bit,
Yeah.
okay, and then I bring up the next guy, and we've worked together before, and he does the exact no, before I even go on, he knows my set, so he goes on and he does my dog bit, so it kind of it
Yeah.
beyond it's like a big no-no. So this idiot wanted to eat glass, and I kept telling him, dude, you got to be a professional. You can't just pick up glass and eat it. And he was
Mhm.
convinced. And Christopher, I was this close to just saying, yes, man, go on, eat it. Go
Yeah.
eat as much glass as you want. But I remember that, and I was incredibly,
It was all good. We had a lot of fun, and I actually I remember and I don't because honestly stuff like that happens all the time in shows, and you just move on as long as everybody had fun. That's all that matters, right?
yeah, yeah. And I didn't. So,
Yeah. Well,
but
sorry.
no, it was just one of those things where you're just like, man, why can't you just have fun?
Yeah.
Have fun. And Christopher is can you explain exactly, so everybody knows exactly
Yeah.
what you do?
So I'm FenyxFyre. I have a show called the Stranger Danger Thrill Show, and basically what we do is it's a show. It's escapes, things that you would not try at home, things you should not try at home. It's overcoming fears. It's basically a show of different variety, comedy, laughter, stupidity. We have a lot of fun, but basically it ranges from eating glass to ramping up all the way to embalming machines and escapes, and it's there's tasers and uh, elastic bands, giant 30-foot elastic bands that we use. It's a lot of fun, but I'm known in the industry as the innovator of insanity. So basically, taking regular sideshow or stunts and putting a little twist on them and making them so that they're pretty insane. So it's I've come a long way from where I started. When I first started, I could do like 4 acts, and I was mostly known for fire. Now I incorporate all of it into a big conglomeration of stupidity, I guess. But yeah, our motto of our show is we touch your emotions inappropriately. So
Yeah, I don't think it's stupidity. I think it takes a lot to, because
oh yeah,
I've seen
it's a
the,
lot of it's a lot of science and anatomy. That's
yeah,
basically what it boils down to.
yeah,
Everything is planned and to survive, but drinking pine sol, you have to have a good knowledge of science and chemicals and things like that. So yeah,
yeah. And I want to
so
stress this out, like,
don't try it at home.
yeah, please do not try this at home. Christopher has been doing this for years, okay? And do not try some of the stunts that he performs. He's world renowned. He's known for these stunts, and they are incredible. In the wrong hands, you could seriously hurt yourself. Okay,
Hmm.
when you see stuff like this, you think, oh, anybody could do that. Oh, what, anybody? Oh, it's fake. Trust me. The first time I worked with him, I was shaking, because I just thought he's going to kill himself. He's going to kill himself. And he told me to relax, everything's fine. Because I said, Christopher, like, what are you doing? And he said, this is my act. Would you relax?
Yeah,
So it was shocking, but it was a good shock to the system where you walk out of there going, man, I was entertained. Like
yeah,
that was awesome. So
yeah.
uh,
It's like watching NASCAR, really. Like the NASCAR drivers know what they're doing, and you're waiting for that crash, and you're hoping for that crash. But then when you see the crash, you're not really sure you wanted to see it, but you were
yeah,
entertained by it.
yeah, I don't like the crashes in
No.
because I always worry, like, several of the drivers that I loved have perished because of
Yeah.
crashes. So I don't really like the crashes, but when I watch somebody perform at a sideshow, I know that they it's not, you know it's not
We don't
their,
just pick it up and say, "Hey, I'm going to try this." We've done
yeah,
it.
like
Yeah.
when I knew a comedian that used to uh put a condom in
Yeah.
his mouth, Jason Rouse,
Yeah.
and he would put the first time I saw it, he'd put a condom here and then out his mouth, and then he would
Yeah.
do this, which would make me heave.
Yeah.
But that took that he didn't just say, "Hey, there's a condom right there." Just,
Yeah.
it's something where you watch, and uh, it is an art form, but it's an incredibly dangerous one where uh,
Mm.
I think that's the thing where people get a kick out of it. Where years ago, when the circus, I couldn't watch the tightrope walkers.
Mm.
I couldn't. And they had even if they had a net, I couldn't watch it because I would feel like I don't want to see this person fall and die. You
Did
know,
you do this?
No, my mother would say, it's okay. It's okay. And
Yeah.
I was just like, I was doing that. I can't watch
Yeah.
horror movies to this day. I
Yeah.
don't watch horror movies. So I do this. And my daughter, she's like, Dad, what, the hell's wrong with you? And I'm just like, I cannot, I just cannot,
Yeah.
I just can't. But afterwards, you're peeking and you're like, oh, they made it,
Yeah.
and when I watch you, I don't do that. I still feel nervous, but it's a different type of nervous where
Hmm.
I'm mostly watching, like most of the time I'm emceeing. So
Hmm.
I'm watching your act, but I'm getting a kick out of watching the crowd.
Yeah. Well,
Because,
that's it,
yeah,
right? So, like for me, it's especially with COVID changing, I've had to change a lot of what I do because now I'm doing everything live stream, right? So I have to be more confident in myself, but because I used to feed off the audience, right? So now it's like I have to say, hey, you know what? I'm doing this long enough. I don't really get the feed off it, but I know that I'm still having a lot of fun and creating at a different level now. But at the same time, I love performing for people. I love the reactions, right? And being able to pick somebody out of the audience that is like, that they're squeamish, but they can handle it. and then bringing them up on stage and having them part of the show is just such a fun feeling, and making them, because I love the audience participation, right?
Yeah, that's what I miss too. I see, with me, they know something stupid's going to happen, or
Yeah,
whatever. With Christopher, it's more like this they don't want to, but they want to go up, you
you're
know?
potentially assisting in my demise, potentially.
Yes, it's yeah, and but they, but the thing is, there's this moment where I notice about after about 3 or 4 times, they're not as nervous because they realize they're dealing with a professional, not
Yeah,
just somebody off the street. So
yeah,
they're the nervous tension, it's still there, but it's nowhere near of just, oh, this guy's going to kill himself. This guy's going to, he could really hurt himself. But
hmm,
you got to remember, he's been doing this for a
yeah,
very long time, and he's studied this. You just
yeah,
do not, again, you do not just pick something up,
yeah.
like a nail, and shove it up your nose and think that everything's
Or
going to.
take a razor blade like this and shove it in my mouth.
Yeah. And folks, I'll tell you right now, that was a real razor. That's not a gimmick. Okay? That's a real razor blade. Yeah. That's the stuff he does. That's just a small little sample of what he does.
It's weird when I do like shows and that, it's a conscious effort to set the show up so that you're not freaking people out right at the beginning right away, because you have to let it build up to the big stuff. So like when I do, like I did Canada's Wonderland, I did 64 shows in 30 days there at Canada's Wonderland, and you're dealing with people who have never seen this before, right? So they're like, you have to invite them in and make them feel comfortable with you, because like they're just not, they've never, the majority of people have never been exposed to this, right? So you have to build up your show and make it so that it's nice and like a progression, a journey of strange and a journey of danger, right? So that they're brought along the ride and not just like walking away.
Well,
So
it's a cool, it's a it's a nice story. You have a
mhm.
It's just this nice story, where you could sit back, and if you're not squeamish, you just go, okay, this is, it's nice. But how does your body like doing all those shows? How does your
You have to also
body
plan for
take
that,
it?
right? You also have to plan for I have to do stuff like um, like I drank 32 bottles of Windex over that tour, that Canada's Wonderland tour. So you figure, like, I have to prepare my body for stuff that I'm doing. I have to also like keep in mind that that stuff builds up in your system. So I did the Canada's Wonderland tour, and then ended up at the end of it, I did another show and I ripped my ears out. When I
How
do,
did
you've seen the lift I do.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
so we had done the Canada's Wonderland tour, the run, and then so body is just beat up, like you know you're doing 4 shows a day, your body is just beat up. And so then I ended up doing a show with a band called Not Slip, so a Slipknot cover band, and I've done 1,000 times hold stuff for my ears, and just all of a sudden, pop, they just had enough. They just said, Chris, that's enough. Let's. So I ended up going. It was perfect moment though. So I'm like on stage, and I've got the keg in my ears, and all of a sudden they let loose, and it's a metal concert, right? So I just go like this, and then the metal fingers go up, and the crowd just ignited. It was a pretty cool feeling. Then I went to the hospital and got stitched up, and now I just say I ate too much hot sauce. I look like I'm melting.
Yeah, and about drinking all that cleaner,
Yeah.
there was there was no streaking. He didn't go naked at all. He went. I just stole that from Amazing Jonathan. So
Yeah.
I had to. So
Yeah.
can I
Well,
see?
I always like to say I drink it so I can have a nice clean smile for y'all.
Yeah, yeah. Can I see your ears again and
Yeah.
explain what exactly, how did that happen where they got ripped?
So anyways, I do where you hang either bowling balls or beer kegs, and they get a hook goes in your ears, and then you hang it, and then you do a spin. So basically, I've been doing that act. That's probably one of the first acts I learned. It's an old lifto act, and so I've probably been doing that act for at least 12, 13 years. And then, so anyways, we're on stage, and then I'm holding a beer keg in my ears, like hanging a beer keg actually hanging from my ears, and it let go.
And
So
like, did you hear
that's
a tear?
I just actually I didn't feel it. All I saw was the keg drop, and I knew the hooks were still like I hadn't taken them out. So I have a really high pain tolerance, as you know, and
Yeah.
I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. All I just felt was the warm, because all the blood, right? It was like a warm feeling, or like that warm feeling when you come in from out of the cold and your ears are cold. You
Yeah.
get that warm. That's what it felt like. That's all I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just knew that something was wrong, and then so then I like do the metal horns, and I like the crowd goes crazy, and then I come off stage and there's photos of me. I'm like, I was so mad at myself, and there's nothing you can do, but in your head it's like, oh, I love that act. So now I do it a bit differently. I actually, so if you put your fingers in your ears, like do your like put
Yeah.
your fingernails and dig
Yeah.
down into your ears, so like
Yeah.
that feeling. So I actually take shark hooks and I hang the shark hooks in that portion of the ear and lift now.
Oh man.
And while I'm doing that, I make everybody hold it, because you can feel it, like that's pain, right? You could feel that pain while I'm actually putting shark hooks in my ears and lifting it now.
Yeah, well, I remember somebody had a video camera monitor was set up just to show that it
The ear
actually went
stretch.
right through. So
Yeah.
there was no gimmick, no nothing. It was literally the camera couldn't lie. And you have people always examine this stuff. You're like, look, check out
Yeah.
the hooks. These are real hooks. They're not plastic. I mean, this is real cleaner.
Yeah.
People can smell it. You could see that it's not. There's nothing fake about it, and that's
Mhm.
where, like, what is, what was your what was your fascination? Like, how did you sit there and say, I remember seeing a comic I remember seeing Dave Allen. I don't know if you
Mhm.
remember Dave Allen. He was an Irish
Mhm.
comic. I
Yep.
remember when I was little seeing him going, that guy's got the coolest job in the world, telling
Yeah.
jokes. And how did you sit there and say, like, what did you see, or what happened? Like, where did you sit there and go, you know what, I'd be really good at that.
Well, I never ever really planned on it. I've always been an Evil Knievel fan. I've always been a Houdini fan. Houdini to me and Evil Knievel were just I was I used to race professional mountain bikes downhill. I was at the World Cup level at one point in my life, and then it kind of fell in my lap actually. Like I was introduced to like the fire and the stunts, and then I kind of delved in it. I started learning more about circus and sideshow, and then I had my huge attack in London, where I was attacked and almost killed, and couldn't leave my house. I was left for dead on the streets of London, basically. So
Can
there's a lot of
you tell that story? Is it okay?
yeah. So basically, I was on a third date, and somebody came up from behind, attacked the girl that I was with. I still have like pictures of like the sausage falling from to the ground, but I took like 17 kicks to the head while I was trying to crawl away to get help, and broken orbital. Like I had my face reconstructed. I lost some eyesight for a while, things like that. And I had huge
Um,
agoraphobia. I couldn't even leave the house. So,
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
yep.
I'm sorry about that. Say that again. Yeah.
So I had huge agoraphobia. I couldn't even leave the house for a while.
Really?
And and then so PTSD, agoraphobia. I couldn't leave. And then I started to use sideshow and performing as a way to heal. Okay, I have this date. I need to get ready to go to this show and be ready to go out of the house. And that's where we are now.
Were you coming out of a bar? Because that happened to me. Remember the Ride Out?
Yeah, it was right. So you know where Rideout Street is?
Yeah.
Between Rideout and you know where like the corner of Huron or York, I mean. So it was on York Street, corner of Rideout, in between Rideout and what's the main street?
I know what you're talking. I know
that corner there. There was a sausage stand there.
Yeah, it was what's his name? Sammy's?
No, Sammy's was on the other side. This was on this side of the street. Okay. So there was like an alleyway, and it was right at the alleyway.
Yeah, so we've all been jumped at the Ride Out. Like I remember same thing happened to me. It was like a buddy of mine, Jeff, got jumped by a bunch of college guys. Yeah. And then me being Hercules, I try and help out, and I thought it was only like 2 or 3 guys. 15 of them just turned around, and it was brutal. But yeah, I remember every single. It was like a blood sport there. It was just it was an incredibly
this one was it was the guy's first night out of jail, and he just wanted to wreck somebody's life. So
what a piece of
he had been in jail for stabbing somebody. So
I'm glad I had no idea that you had that what did you call it? Agoraphobia?
Agoraphobia. Oh yeah. I still struggle with it to this day. Like, it's like I still have days where I have to talk myself into getting out of bed even.
Out of all the people I know, the stuff that you do, you have that.
Yeah, I have
That's
that.
Incredible.
I suffer. I use my performing to counteract that, to be able to have a regular life. So
yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, everybody's got something. Everybody's got that. That's why I try and, with my audience and everything, it's like I'm trying to take them away from their life for 5 minutes or 45 minutes, however, because we all have stuff in our lives that nobody knows about, right? That True. People that that we're all suffering with. It could be your hamster's got a yeast infection and you're having a bad day, or to the other extreme where your father has cancer and is dying, but you don't want to tell anybody yet.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I know.
Right. So everybody's got something. We just sometimes you just can't share it. And it took a while for me to share it to the point where I'm comfortable with talking to it. Like I couldn't even I would go into like a PTSD moment where I would just, people would start talking to me about it. I would just go glaze over, like people are talking to me about football.
Oh,
right.
Sure. Did the guy end up going to jail or anything?
He did. He's out. He's out and he's already back in because he actually kidnapped somebody. So he's back in jail. So he's just a rough guy. But he got a lifetime weapon ban from me. So that was the positive. So if he does anything wrong, he goes back in. But it was hell. Like, they thought that, I remember the police in my room when I woke up, and they had been there for a while because they thought they were dealing with a homicide.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Man.
Yeah.
Cannot believe that. I did not know that about you.
It's
thank you for sharing that story, especially at these times that we're dealing with.
So I use this as healing. For me it was I struggle a lot with mental health, and growing up I had a very troubled childhood, and growing up I struggled with suicide ideation, so those self-harm thoughts. And so for me, it was like, I did all these dangerous things because I wanted to harm myself, but I really realized that I really didn't want to harm myself. I just didn't, it was a way to protect myself. Right. So now I've twisted it. So I do all these dangerous things in a safe way because I have those thoughts anyways. Like I have those, thoughts of, it's like, well, what if, or how could it, this and this, but now I twist it so that the main goal is my safety. and the safety of everybody else. So I've taken something that was so detrimental and was destroying my life and made it into a career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did. I wish that didn't happen to you. There's so many horrible things that you hear that happen to people, and you just wish that didn't happen. But do you think if that incident didn't happen, that you would not be doing what you're doing, or do you think that you would eventually go into?
It's hard to say. I think so I never really planned on it. I've surpassed every goal I had, even though I really didn't have many goals. Now I have some goals that I really like. There's some stuff I want to do. But at the same time, it's hard to say the what ifs. I try not to live in the what ifs anymore. It's like this moment right now, I'm talking to Vito about my career that I built on just kind of going through and evolving through the punches. That's basically I evolved, and it was no plan really. It was like, now it's like, I enjoy what I do. I love what I do, and but now I'm enjoying sending the message that it's okay to be, it's okay to struggle.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I want to do now, is get to that level where, working with some kids, like, I've gotten the opportunity now where I work with kids a lot. I've been working with the hospitals and things like that. And I would never have had that opportunity to do it if I either died in that situation or decided that I just want to waste away because I don't want to live. So I chose the life portion, and here we are.
Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that, and I don't mean to bring up
Yeah.
bad memories or anything. If anything, I want to, reality is.
It happened. It's happened. And I hopefully somebody, one of the listeners can say, hey, you know what? Yeah, you're right. That mental health is hard, and maybe, following our dreams is the path to go.
Yeah, and if you're having a rough time, you message me.
Yeah.
You don't need, you comment or whatever. If you're having a rough time, please let me know. We're all
Yeah.
having a rough time. Trust me.
Yeah.
I freaked out going to a show because it was all plexiglass,
Yeah.
and I had to be behind this plexiglass, and I just freaked out. I just said,
Yeah.
I can't do this. I can't breathe. So,
Yeah.
and that's one of my fears of is not being able to breathe. So being behind some glass, really kind of, anyways, I freaked out,
Yeah.
and it's okay to freak out. There are
Yeah.
people,
It is.
it's a sign of weakness. It's, trust me, it's not. Everybody has those moments, and uh, you learn from them, and if you don't learn from them, who cares? You just move on, and you have one life. That's what I tell people. You have one life. Enjoy it, please.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let people bring you down. Okay, so on the positive here, you did um, uh, okay, the Houdini stunt. I'm a huge Houdini fan.
Yep.
Um, what's
I am
the
too. Let's start with some of the stuff I've been collecting.
Can you say the records though? Can you please
Oh
tell
yeah.
me?
Well, there's a lot of them, but the first record I started was the most staples in the human body, so non-surgical staples. We took it to 536 from 200. That's so far has been broken. I hold a world record for the most cattle prods in
Wait,
60
stop for a
seconds.
second, Christopher. Staples in your body, a staple gun, and
Mm-hmm.
you got up to how many? Oh my God,
536.
536 of those.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I remember you telling me that I said, how do you do that? And you said, because your body is tempered. Like you
My body doesn't feel pain as normal. Like I've had third-degree burns and went home and had a shower. My body just doesn't react to it. I feel like stomach aches and headaches and things like that, but like my skin, you can like pinch it, and I don't feel it, but I do feel it. I'm not gonna lie that I don't feel it. It felt like I was being attacked by bees, really. like that many staples. I felt like I was being attacked by a bunch of bees.
And you had them all over your body?
Yeah, it was all over. I looked like a poster board, at first shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. And how do
Yeah.
you take them? That thing's still in your...
Yeah, it's in there. Just pull it
No,
out.
yeah, take it out. Can you take that out or no?
We'll do a nice pull on it first. Oh, yeah. There, it's it.
Oh,
So you can see a little drop of blood coming.
oh wow, 500 of those babies. God, I stub my toe and I go back to bed. I just say, screw today. Today's going to be bad. I'm just going to go to bed. Man, that's incredible. And what's the other record that you have?
So we did like the most cattle prods in 60 seconds. I've done.
Slow down. Most cattle prods, the thing that...
Yeah, so like to move cows, like moving cows.
Right.
So I just stand in a foot box and take as many as I could without getting out of the box. If I stepped out of the foot box, it would be done. So I just had to brace it and take it. I lost my short-term memory for 3 days after that one.
It's like what was that? Remember, one of my favorite lines was from Christmas Vacation, where cousin Eddie just goes, yeah, every time the wife turns on the microwave, I piss my pants, forget who I am for a half hour.
Yeah. Another world record I did was the most fire breathes using a 1,000,000 volt stun gun. So I was fire breathing off the 1,000,000 volts.
A 1,000,000 volts?
Yeah, like a stun, like a stun baton. So like, 1,000,000 volts, like where it zaps you, so it comes back down and zaps your lips. I took the most 1,000,000 volts while laying on a bed of razor blades. So I had to take the hit and not move. Things like that.
Oh wow!
The longest elastic band snap, I have that world record. So 20.666 feet. So it gets pulled back.
Explain it. So you're standing there, and then I would grab a giant elastic band.
Shall we show that? Should we just show it?
Yeah, just show it if you can.
Yeah, here, let me find it. You can keep talking and I'll look for it.
Yeah, so please, folks, do not ever try this at home. If you're interested in doing this, I'll put a link to Christopher's website. You could contact him and you could email him if you have any questions. And also, he makes a lot of these.
Here's one. Here's not the world record, but here's me doing it at Canada's Wonderland. So we'll just go to that one. And where's the zoom here? Let's get back to the zooms. Okay, so share screen. Oh, we got screen disabled. Screen sharing is disabled right now.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Hold on, let me see. Is it the... Let me just see if it... Hold on.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. Oh, there we go.
Is this it?
This one here is actually, we'll do this one. This is a water escape, but we can do this one.
Okay, so folks, watch.
There we go. It's super lock now, fucker. How do you feel, Fenix?
I feel calm. I feel scared. I feel like I'm about to step away from joining you in the undead.
Well, shit, we'd love to have you. There's a space in the hearse for you, bud.
Alrighty.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna pull that mask down over my face.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. I'm pulling it down. How's that? A little bit down more. Further. There we go. That's good. All right. Okay. So, and now we're gonna get some water. Now we're gonna get some water. Oh God, I got the water right here.
You're gonna let me quickly breathe, and then we're gonna pour that water in. And then as soon as you say go, as soon as that water's in there, I'm gonna escape. Okay.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Water's in. God. Oh God. Oh shit. Oh God, it's choking. Oh God. Oh, fuck. joining us. We wish you would have, but you know what? If you had died today, I would have been okay.
So that's pretty fun one. I like that one.
Fire!
Oh,
Not today, I'm dead. Not today.
Not today.
that was awesome.
So basically that was, we took I found a need. So in the escape artist world, we all, the biggest issue is when you're traveling is you can't have this big tank come with you and fill it up for every show, right? So that I came up with the idea to modify an old mask. I've since, this was the first one, I've since modified it so it's a lot nicer. But so basically modified it so the water stays in it instead of coming out of it. So the water fills up, and basically, now, a lot of times I'll actually chain myself right to the mask. So you can't get the mask off unless it's chained, but it's basically allowed performers to do the water escape in so many different variations instead of just being in a tank. So it's pretty much modernized the water escape, and I'm pretty proud of that one.
Yeah, with the escape there, have you, and I've seen this where the guy couldn't get out.
Yep, been there.
And you've been there. Okay,
Yeah.
so what happens, you have somebody there that's gonna
Yeah, so but you got to be, so basically, the situation happened to me is, so to grab a pair of handcuffs here. So the keyhole, which is right there, got put on backwards, so I couldn't reach around to pick it.
Right.
So typically, the longest I like to go is about 3 minutes in a water escape. That's pretty much my max. We hit up around the 5-minute mark where I was gasping for air, and finally I reached around and was twisting, almost breaking my arm to get it off, pulling on the handcuff and trying to get to that hole. But it got off. But in my head, I thought I have a signal. I stamp my foot if I'm in trouble. That's for my team to come in. And in my head, I thought I did that, but whether it's ego or pride or whatever, I didn't. Watching the video over again, that I'd seen or talking to people in the audience, I didn't do anything. I just worked on getting out. So we went up into the 5-minute range, and finally I got out. And all it was simply, so basically what we do is I handed the cuffs to somebody and they put them on backwards, basically for me. So now whenever I do it, I know which side I'll do this, and then hand the cuffs to the other person to put the other side on. And the reason why is basically, so that we can, I was going to find something to pick this because I got the cuff on now. But we basically just want to make sure that, we can get out safely.
Well, yeah, for sure. But it's stuff like that where mistake like that where you thought your code of stomping your foot, where you thought you did it but you didn't.
Yeah.
Going through your mind, if the worst thing that could happen to you is you panicking, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had to stay. If I panicked, I would have died. But I stayed calm and kept on going, even though I thought I'd given my signal. I kept going until I was out or my team steps in at that point, right?
Right.
So, yeah. But the biggest thing is staying calm. Like I had an accident where in a show where my shirt ignited, and I completely finished the show, and people really had no clue that anything went wrong, other than I got 3rd-degree burns after. But it's that staying calm is the most important thing in, at that ability to just slow everything down. When I had the fish hook go through my wrist as another accident, I went and got McDonald's on the way to the hospital. If panicking is the worst thing you can do in life, because you become irrational at that point, and then that's when a lot of stuff happens, right?
Well, a lot of cave divers, which is incredibly dangerous. But if you panic and you're under there and you panic, you freak out. when I remember, uh, I remember the Amazing Randy, where he did a stunt, and it was supposed to be for Johnny Carson, and it went horribly wrong for him,
Hmm.
and he couldn't get out.
Hmm.
And he said, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. But
Yep. I know the stunt you're talking
you
about. Yeah.
remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, they brought him out in a gurney after, and he just said, "You know what? I'm not going to do this anymore."
Yep.
And he was. People forget he's an escape artist.
Yeah.
So I did a.
Yeah.
I'll send you a video I did about. He did a great thing about psychic surgeries that
Yeah.
I had to cover. So
I'm
when
a huge escape artist. Right. Escape artistry is my like I. That's my favorite thing right now. Like I love that world. Like being in a position, and it also stems from my childhood. We won't go into it because it's very dark and that, but I love being able to be put in any position and be able to get out of it now. That control that you have. It's not control, but it's control. Like being able to know that you know I'm in a situation that with my skills I can get out of it. Right.
Yeah, my buddy Mike, who's a cape, not underground diver, he was um, going in caves and
Hmm.
going in like really tight areas, and I'm claustrophobic.
Hmm.
So I would never go, but I said, "What did you do?" He got stuck, and he's a very thin guy. He looks like
Hmm.
Gollum
Hmm.
but he looks like Powder. Remember that movie,
Yeah.
Powder?
Yep. Yep.
So he ended up getting stuck, and I said, "What did you do?" And he said, "I had to tell myself to calm down because
Calm
if I
down.
freaked out, I would have died."
Yeah.
And that's terrifying. Could you imagine? And that's what uh, Christopher has to do when he performs. I'm not bumping, I'm not jerking him. Like you could see his act. It's real stuff, and there is uh, uh, serious danger there.
Hmm.
But it's taken again years and years of discipline and understanding, and sometimes some of the greats they make a horrible mistake.
Yep.
And when I remember seeing James Randi, where I just thought this guy's invincible, and when you see Superman uh, fail and
Yeah.
nearly get killed, it makes you question. Hey, man, this is not a game, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, and then you think too that you know we're stepping up our stuff. Like I'm stepping up my acts all the time, right? Like it's from what I started with to now. Even from what we worked together 5 years ago,
Not more
um,
than that.
5, 6 years, 6, 7 years. It was six, whatever. It was a long time ago, and we're not getting younger. So but I'm stepping up. My audience loves. I'm called the Innovator of Insanity. It's like people expect me to almost like, what are you going to do now? Like so, and some of the stuff that I've got in the pipe is just like it's so cool. But I'm just you know right now learning how to do it myself. Right, like I have the idea in my head, and it's like, okay, how do we make this happen? Right, so it's exciting for me, being able to take something that's just a thought in the head and make it a reality and live. Right, so.
Yeah, and I think that to me, like for you, it's a rush, right?
Hmm.
I mean, if
No,
you're
it's not. It's a challenge.
okay,
Yeah, I don't get that rush much anymore. I love the challenge. It's like I succeeded. Now the part that I'm trying to learn is like when I do a world record, it's like what's the next one? What's the next one? I'm trying to like say, hey, I accomplished that. Sit on it, own it for a couple weeks, and then move on to the next project. Instead of always like boom, 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 and trying to actually like people always like, how many world records do you have? And it's like I honestly can't answer that because I don't work. That's not something I think about. It's not why I do it. Right. I'm doing it for the challenge of accomplishing the feat, like actually being successful.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, But
Well,
anyways, it's interesting how the mind works, eh?
it is. I mean, to me, it's always, I mean, I could never do what you do, you know, and I wouldn't, I mean, my pain threshold, and I'm not a drinker. I'm not, you know, so
Yeah.
I can't, you know, you know, you hear stories of guys having to take recreational drugs to
Yeah.
do that. And it's just, Christopher is not,
I don't if people know me, they know I'm not a drinker either.
no,
Or
I
I don't.
know, but it would
Yeah.
not be a good thing.
Oh no, you would die. You
Yeah.
would die.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were drunk doing what I do, you would die.
Yeah. And
So
that's something that I think that is the where you could sit back and just go, wow, you know, like there's no, you know, because the first time you watch it, you go, my God, he must be on something, you know, but then you watch him and you just go, he's not on anything. He's just performing. So,
mhm.
because you could tell when somebody's on drugs. I'm sorry, you
Yeah,
can.
you
Okay.
can. Yeah, I
So,
agree.
you know, the you have you also have a very kind uh he's a big race fan. He has a Casey Stoner's autograph.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a huge MotoGP racer,
Yeah, me too.
MotoGP fan. Yeah, yeah,
But you have Houdini's. Can you show that, please?
yeah. So I just got this gentleman called Barry Spector, and he made. I don't know if you can see that, but it's their certificate here of authenticity. It's for this. I collect. We're gonna start off. I collect ice picks and blockhead items. Blockhead is the ability to stick stuff in your head, right? So and live. So I had this one originally made, and this one here is made from Coney Island Boardwalk.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask about Coney Island. Yeah.
So this one here is Coney Island Boardwalk, and it's got a nice little the token from there. So I had that made, and then so Barry messaged me, knows I'm a huge Houdini fan, and was like, "Hey, you know, I make some magic wands. Do you want one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I would love something from Houdini's house wood, but I would love to have something made for me." So what he made for me was this. It's a custom blockhead piece, and this tip here, I don't know if you can see how sharp that is and the
Yep.
holes in it, but that's from my embalming machine act. This is the first piece I used. So I had him make the handle, and that's from actual Houdini's house, 278. And it's from, and he made it into a nice ice pick handle for me. And so there's only one of these made. It's pretty cool, and it's made from the actual wood from Houdini's house. They're renovating it right now. The owners were putting in a system, and they had some wood that was left over, and Barry got some of it. So he's been making pieces of custom items out of Houdini house wood. So anyways, I got this nice little baby here, and let's do this.
Oh,
So, but it's really cool because it's a combination of a stunt that I came up with, and I'm the only one that does, and then having the Houdini's house wood. It's just such a great piece of my collection. What else do I got? Hardin, which is Houdini's brother. I got these leg irons here. These are actually Hardin worn leg irons. They came from a collection, and I got them recently, and they're pretty awesome. So yeah, there's so many cool things that
that was from Houdini's brother?
yeah, so that's Hardin. Yeah, so they're Strauss leg irons. So it's kind of a gruff area because they're from 1926, and Houdini died in 1926, right? So it's like, did Houdini have them and then Hardin got them, or it just? But they are. I can legitimately say I have all the providence that Hardin used them in a show, and I have that providence. But you know, who knows what happened with them.
Isn't that amazing how um to this day, like, where kids will just sit there and go, the guy pulled a Houdini,
Mhm.
and that's how big Houdini was, when
Yeah.
you know, like how
Yeah.
famous he was. If you do
Yeah.
something amazing or something unreal, it's like the
Yeah.
guy pulled a Houdini. You
Hmm.
know, that
Yeah.
that that
His legacy is amazing. So I've been fortunate right now. I'm actually working with the Houdini Museum of New York and working on a little bit of a project with them. So I'm, and that's all come from just being attacked in the street. And now I'm performing and doing escapes, and everything is, I've just built, being a nice guy helps sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, that's, yeah.
but
You've always been very. I've never ever seen you be cross with anybody, or you're very mellow.
I have my moments. I'm a Taurus. I have my moments. Trust me.
Yeah,
When I get
but
angry.
well, yeah, there was a one time because of the moron, but
Yeah.
you weren't really angry. You were just annoyed, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it
There's an
was.
annoyance,
I
but
think. Sorry, just the you need to have that. Yes, niceness does. Uh, be kind. You
yeah,
know.
be kind. You don't know what people are going through. I'm going to say that again. Be kind. You don't know what people are going through.
Yeah,
So,
you don't know. I say that all the time too, where I notice that, where something is wrong or whatever. You just, I think as you get older, you just realize that not everything's all peaches and cream for everybody.
and it's not all about us.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that's the biggest thing that I'm learning is like, you know what? I do these, but it really matters. It doesn't really matter what I do or what people think of me. Honestly, I'm having fun. And, but I have to remember that not everybody likes what I do. So do I get angry if somebody puts a nasty comment? No, they're just not into it. Right. So,
Right. No,
so
well, I mean, what are you gonna do?
yeah.
And have you worked at Coney Island?
No, but that's a bucket list thing. Hopefully one day I'll have the opportunity to. Being Canadian, it's hard, right? With, you know, especially right now, but with visas and everything, it's a lot of cost to, and I'm busy here in Canada too. Like I I would love to do it, but I'm also, I've got so many projects on the go. It's like I would love to, but do I have the time? Yeah, I don't know. But it's a bucket list. I would love to just go watch my friends perform. I know tons of people that work there and perform there, so I'd love to just see them perform, live.
What would you tell a younger person that is interested in doing what you do? What
Uh, have a thick heart. People will judge you. People will call you, especially in the sideshow world can be a very cutthroat world. Everybody's, we're not all friends. We're not all, so you got to know that people, you're going to piss some people off too. But just honestly, be yourself. If you think something's fun, do it. Don't let people get down on you. If you think that, if you think that, just don't try to piss people off, right? But if if you've got an idea, do it, follow it, learn, like spend your time reading. You're going to learn so much from books. Don't learn stuff off the internet because you're going to get it wrong information. Find a mentor. So somebody that's been doing it a long time, and find a mentor and get it done, do it right. So there's enough of us out there if you ask the right questions.
Right. No, yeah, well, same thing with everybody thinks stand up, everybody gets along. And I'm like, you get along with some people,
Mhm.
and then there's other people that are, no matter how nice you are to them, they're always going to be dicks.
Yeah,
So,
because you're competition, honestly. Like,
yeah,
honestly,
you
right?
know,
Like, let's be honest. Like,
yeah,
do you think banks get along well with each other?
yeah,
No. It's business,
yeah,
right?
yeah. No, that's
So
true. So, is there any stunt, anything that you could show? Uh,
yeah, let me, because I don't think I have the share screen yet. So I'll just you can keep talking, I'll find it and we'll put it on. I want to show one of my newest ones. You want to see that?
yeah, sure.
So I'm just gonna go back to videos and we're gonna pull, oh, this is a fun one. So this was a stunt in Christmas time. Here's one of my newer ones, and it's a lot of fun. Bringing it up. Computer got slow all of a sudden. Okay, so share. I'll copy paste and you can play her. Copy video link. So this was a stunt, actually Cliff Gersman, who does the ties, so the International Escapology magazine. He showed me something and asked if I could put a twist on it. It was an old act and an escape, and asked if I could put my version on it. And this is what I came up with. It's a lot of fun. And I'm just going to put that in the chat there, and then you can push play.
Let's see here. Here we go. All right.
So this one I did with Blood Opera for our Christmas Evil show, and
Okay.
it involves the biggest working bear trap in sideshow.
Tell me if this is the right one. Is this it?
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Put her full screen, maybe.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Stop. It's not letting me.
Well, it doesn't matter. Did you put the sound on?
Yeah, sounds on.
Perfect.
But
Let's do this.
all right.
The moment you've all been waiting for. The man who feels no pain. In fact, he innovated it. FenyxFyre. And Rip and I are here to help out in case anything goes wrong, right? Right. You know, Max and Rip, it's Christmas. And time. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas Eve. And I've got a lot of fun, but, well, we're hunting reindeer. Okay. And look at the size of this trap. It's 5 feet. Look at those teeth on it. You get Donner and Blitzen and all those guys in there. Well, what we're gonna do? This? I would. Oh, yeah. I would touch it. So what we're gonna do is actually test this trap to make sure it's working. And the only way I can do that is think of a really cool escape. And it involves. You hold that for a second. What's that? A candy cane? It's like a candy cane. Oh, it's like a PVC candy cane. It is, yeah. What are you putting there? There's a hole in the end of it. And I've got this chain here. And this chain, well, it's gonna go around my neck like this. Okay. I like paper. Okay. I lost the button, but it's okay. Okay. And then, well, I got a lock for you. Okay. And I got a lock for you, Rip. What exactly is going on here today, Fenix? Well, what's going to happen is I'm going to take this and I'm going to drop these down inside of here. Okay. And we're going to drop those down. And found the hole. And well, I'm going to stretch my arms out so I can't escape from it. And I'm going to give you that side and you take that side. Okay. And you're going to put it around my wrist. So just like that. Like that. And you're going to take it down. Okay. There's a different kind of handcuff here. I don't know. Yep. All right. We're really locking them, ladies and gentlemen. These are real locks here. Boy, I didn't think you were going to survive the last one. Well, now that that's tight. I can't move at all. Because my arms are outstretched. You're gonna put it in there, lock that like that. What the fuck? And I'm gonna slam my hands in and make sure I can get out of this trap and make sure it works. Okay, but maybe Rip, we should make this a little bit scarier. Ew, where did you just pull that bag? You just pull that bag from your bag. And wait, is this like a homage to Black Christmas? Oh, Lynn Griffin, we're doing the Lynn Griffin to you right now. Right, bag over the head. So bag over the head. I got some tape here. Oh, I got tape. Oh my God, we're gonna tape that. I didn't think we were actually gonna tape around that. Okay, that's okay. Are you ready for this? Here, never mind. Freaking mind here. All right, let's do this. Okay. Taping them in. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Tape is on.
You hate that because you hate stuff in your face, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready? I don't know, guys. Are you ready out there? 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, that was maybe the scariest I've seen. Are you okay? I'm good. Are you okay? Well, let's move on to the next song. Okay. Let's move on to the next song.
That's it.
Oh, wow.
So
Man,
that's just a lot. That's just some fun. Just some playing around fun.
wow. That was that was I mean, the stuff that you come up with, Chris, just absolutely terrifies the shit out of me,
Thank you.
you know. And
That was a real bear trap, by the way. That one would do harm.
no,
if you-
I know that was a real one. That was not fake. There's nothing you do that is fake. That's the thing where you sit back and you watch it and you just sit there and go, I mean, I just can't do that.
Yeah.
You know? And I guess that makes, I mean, you always get these, you know, clowns that just, well, you know, I can do that or I can do this. And yeah, I remember seeing a comic once being heckled. This guy would not stop. And he finally said, "Hey, would you like to come up and perform?" And the guy said, "Yeah, sure." And he made an, like, it was like the
Yeah.
worst mistake of his life, because you sit there and think, "Oh, that's easy," but it's not. Okay. And what you just did there, or any of the stunts or anything that you perform, that is, you make it look like we just came up with this. We just did the, you know, hey, I got an idea.
Yeah.
And that's all, again, that is all to set you up, okay?
Mhm.
To make you think, you know, he's just being crazy. But again, a lot of science, there's a lot of, you know, thought that goes into these things. You just don't do them. If he were to get caught in there, I mean, he could die. It's really that's just the way
Mhm.
it is. Now, when you play some places, do they sit there? Like, I remember the one place that where we played together, and they said, "Is he going to be? Is there any fire? Because we're not insured for fire." And I was like, I asked you, and I go, "Are you going to be doing any fire or anything?" And you're like, "Do I need to? I can do fire." And I said, "No. They said they don't want any fire." You're like, "Okay, no
We
problem."
did fire. We did do fire. But I'm insured. I'm insured.
Because you know, yeah, but you said that after, but the guy, he was like, no, you know, whatever. And remember, we broke plates because it was like a Greek, it was, I remember we
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember. Yeah, it was a
it
Greek place. Yeah.
was breaking plates. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So again, these things take a lot of planning. You just do not say, you know what, I gotta, you know, I'd love to put my hand in a bear trap. No, I purchased uh, was trying to do a funny stunt. Just you know, I was trying to gimmick out um, it was a
A
coyote.
number one. Yeah, a little number one.
Yeah, and it was like, I was just like, I tried everything with it. I'll tell you after what I did with it. But the
Mhm.
force alone of that thing, I put an apple in it just to test it out. Just to set this thing up was terrifying. Okay. I don't like guns because
Mhm.
I do have a gun license, but I, you know, I needed it for a job that I was doing. So but I don't like certain things that just you know, you know, I always have this feeling of, with a gun it could go off anywhere and you know, could kill somebody. Uh the stuff that you do, this is years and years of thinking it out, and then you do a little bit. You said, okay, I've done this. Now I could incorporate it and use it for this here too, plus
Yeah.
this. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
So you could see that, and it's just it's an incredible. Uh,
Well, and it's it's a fine line. Some people in the side troll world don't like that I do that because they like the traditional sideshow. But for me, I don't consider myself a sideshow performer. I'm a thrill show performer. I'm an escape artist. So I'm not, I'm taking elements of classic, elements of modern, and taking into into what it what it is. And I'm using like stuff that is not even on the market now. Like I'm using some really cool technology that is just, that for some stuff that's coming out that, isn't even available to the public yet. I'm getting stuff custom made for my show that, it's not even available to the market. It's all custom made. So, which is kind of cool, but at the same time, I'm using it. I would have got to this point without having the basics there and then adding the layers onto it. Right.
right.
So, but
Now,
it's a lot of fun.
is there anything you will not do?
I won't put somebody else's life in danger.
Me neither. That's good.
Yeah. There's no reason to put somebody else's life in danger in a stunt. If it involves me putting somebody else's life in danger in a stunt, I don't need to. It's not what it's. There's no need for it. There's no reason for it.
But is there ever been a stunt that you just said, I want nothing to do with that? Or there's, you know what I mean? Like, is there anything that you
nothing that has come up yet. I have been challenged by some high level escape artists to do a stunt that that it is very intense, and I refused. I won't do it the way that it was intentionally done. I would do it my way because I don't think the original way can be done the way that it's been become legend. I don't think that it can be done that way. But at the same time, it can be done. It just has to be done differently than what people are thinking. So yeah, I would say that's me saying I'm not going to do a stunt the way it was intentionally meant to be done, but it can be done and actually have the same effect. So yeah, so I would say that's my answer.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I want to, thank you so much for your time and the inspiration, the story that you shared. You didn't have to, but it was just very moving, and it was very kind of you to do that.
Yeah.
I want to say
Hopefully it'll help.
yeah, if anybody wants to, I'm going to put a link up, and if anybody has any questions or anything, you're more than welcome to leave a comment, or I'm going to put Christopher's website on there, FenyxFyre, and you could email him. And
Yep.
if there's anything that, if you want to get into the business or anything you need made, he makes a lot of these stunts. So you could contact him. So and be careful, be smart about it. Okay.
Yep.
So thank you
Agreed.
so much, Christopher.
Thanks for having me.
And when things get better, we're gonna hit the circuit again, because
Sounds good.
everybody needs a clown. Folks, I'm the Amazing Vito. I've been talking to the amazing Christopher Campbell, FenyxFyre. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, leave a comment, and you know what? Be kind. Thank you.
Be kind. Take care, guys.